Back in Nigerian market, the trading platform of the Nasd OTC Securities admitted the 53.5 million ordinary shares of Access Bank Nigeria PLC. It was the first of such listing in which the holding company of the subsidiary of a company is listed on another exchange in the same Nigerian market. Bola Ajomale is the managing director and CEO at Nasd OTC Securities Exchange, and he joins me this evening to discuss and review the first quarter of the market. Thank you. It's good to have you, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Great, thank you. How's it been? How's it been? The market. It's a final trading day, so I know it's always a tough time trying to balance the books, as it were, and all that. So, but this is the first one news we've wanted to speak with you over the last few days about Access Bank, the first commercial bank, as it were, all that fully listed. Tell me, give me more details about this.
Well, it's a very interesting, pivotal development on the market, and I'm sure we'll be seeing quite a few more of them in the next couple of structurings to come. Essentially, Access Bank has retained its status as a PLC. And first of all, there's a rule that says you need to be on a public market if you're a PLC. And so that's the first part of it. The second part of it as well is that I think, speculatively, it gives both organizations, the holding company and the bank, it gives them the opportunity to go off in their different directions. Maybe we'll be seeing a strategic partnership in Access Bank by conjecture, or maybe you'll be seeing some expansion in the holdings operations into other areas. Either way, they both take on a life of their own.
What was listed on your exchange, on your platform?
Now, so it's the holding company, and this is where there's this is something that we're very happy to address, and we need to. Some people have called in to say, can I still trade Access Bank? No, you cannot. There has actually been a one-for-one swap. So if you were holding Access Bank shares before, you're now holding Access Holdings or the Holdco shares. So there has been a one-for-one swap, and they have cancelled the Access Bank shares itself. Some people have been to the CSD and they have, tried to see whether they still have Access Bank shares, so they can trade that as well. It was not a bonus. It actually was a swap. What is listed, however, is the holding company's holdings, or the holding company itself has said, okay, we want this organization to still remain a PLC, and we want it to have a presence on the market. So just as a holding company can have shares, even 100% or 99% on the Ghana Stock Exchange or any other stock exchange, the same thing is happening. Those shares are not tradable, unless, of course, the holding company wants to trade them. They're not tradable, but it's just there for now.
So who owns the shares? Who holds the shares that are traded on NASD over the counter?
So the shares that are on NASD OTC right now are 99.9 to the infinity held by the Holdco. And then a couple of individuals, maybe like 2, 3, 4 individuals, hold 1 unit each, just as a holding. What happens next, and it may be a strategy issue for them, what happens next, we shall see.
But not as if the shares of our Access Bank
are going to be
Nigeria
tradable.
PLC
No.
is not tradable.
You're not going to see a trade on them, no.
That was listed at $9.95 on your securities
Correct.
exchange on NASD OTC.
Correct.
Will the price move? Should it move?
The price will not move on the market, and that is because, again, our market is governed by rules that say it's demand and supply that moves the price. What we have done for some securities that are very extremely illiquid, but have a lot of activity in terms of their profitability and their structure, is that we ask for a valuation, and then they send in a valuation, and then we can revalue the company. So we may be seeing changes as time goes on if there is a new valuation by a recognized participant of the market, and it's going to be a commissioned valuation. If we see that, then of course we reflect the value. The price we took right now was the price that it exited the NGX on.
Okay,
and that's the base price.
And that's the base price.
And that's the base price
on the basis for which it was admitted.
Correct, yeah.
So on the daily basis, you're going to find Access Bank Nigeria PLC, but the same price.
The same price.
And there could be volume in terms of trade.
There would not be any volume on Access Bank because the only person holding Access Bank right now is the holding company. And so unless the whole co wants to move the shares, it's not going to trade on the market.
Interesting development. What does it mean for your exchange? Is it just the market cap that you got about 353 billion extra on your market? So you should be a happy man right now, at least this week.
We're getting to our first trillion, so we are on the way there. But what does it mean? I think it means more for the market as a whole, and it's something that we have always said that, first of all, the capital market is a continuum. Starting from the SMEs all the way up to even the premium board. It is a continuum. You're at some point in that continuum of capital market. This, again, just proves it. Again, like what I was saying when NGX itself came into NEST, I said it's a continuum, and things continue to move around into different markets. The most important thing is that there's a market to absorb whatever kind of security it is. And I think that's something that the SEC has done and got absolutely right, in that there's always a market, a commodities market. We probably will be seeing a derivatives market. We'll probably be seeing a digital market coming up soon that will be able to take any kind of security. So what it means is, one, it confirms the continuum of the market. Again, it defines what happens next when companies go holdco. There is a possibility that you retain your subsidiary as a PLC for future growth.
On a different exchange?
On a different exchange, absolutely.
And this is really quite different from where we were just 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
Do you think this is one of the dramatic changes in the market in terms of, yes, you have a bigger market, and it allows the companies to also become a whole lot more dynamic?
Absolutely. As well. So it's, our market is, first of all, very innovative in every single way. Our financial markets are extremely innovative worldwide. We're known. And this is another innovation that I think we'll be seeing much more of.
Interested about other listings you're pursuing in the near to medium term. Who are you bringing on board?
Well, I will hold it for now, but we do actually have our eyes on a couple of companies that we think are ready to come into the market. They would want to try and establish equilibrium. Some of them have never been into the capital market before. Some of them have been in the capital market before, went off, and then want to come back in. So we have about 4 or 5 that we're looking at that we think will be rather interesting. Something that would be very interesting as well is our struggling power sector. I mean, it would be great to have those coming in and have them recapitalize on the market as well. So as an industry, it'd be great to have that industry closer to the market.
That would be really interesting. But again, we're ending the first quarter today. How does it look like on your securities exchange for the first quarter?
Well, contrary to general speak of things being taking a downturn, we've actually done 50% of what we did last year in our first quarter. Wow. So we've done 50% of what we did last year in our first quarter. We're hoping that it continues. But it's been a relatively healthy first quarter for us, in addition to our capitalization going up about 50% as well. So it has not been bad.
What was the driver? Was it the earnings coming through from last year? Was it just investors' appetite for those who have the deep pockets to say, look, we're doing bargain hunting?
Remember that the OTC market is not it does cater to retail investors, but a lot of the time, what we see are bulk movements. And bulk movements take a period of maybe 6 months to put in place before it hits the market. By the time we started opening up the economy last year, these bulk movements started preparing. And so we're beginning to see them coming into the market now. So it's a market dynamic which is different from a retail market.
If I'm looking at expected return on your NSI, what will I be looking at?
It has been healthy for now. Again, a lot depends on where the rest of the year goes. No one anticipated the war in January. So what happens next in the world, it's anyone's guess. It's anyone's guess. But I think with the economy opening up again, with more activity in the economy, I think we'll be looking at a relatively healthy market. We're going into the reporting season right now, so we'll be seeing the numbers coming in. As the numbers come in, it will determine how interest goes. But we're seeing from the first and the larger companies, we're seeing some relatively healthy activity on them, and I think that will continue.
When your full year report is in, let's be the first to know.
We certainly shall. We certainly shall.
Because you have your own accounts as well
Correct.
as NASD.
Correct. Absolutely.
And then we can talk about some of the other big names on your counter. Thank you so
Great.
much. Bola Ajomale, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer at NASD OTC Securities Exchange. We wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
See you next time.